welcome to this meeting of the Essex Joint Committee. A warm welcome to members of the public who've joined us here in person, and also to those joining us online. If you're here in person, the usual very polite reminder that this is a meeting which is held in public. It's not a public meeting, but thank you very much for being with us. So welcome everybody. There are some apologies for absence. I'm not proposing to read the list of those. The next item on the agenda is the register of interests. This is a new committee that's been set up. We are slowly acquiring everyone's register of interests, which I hope will be formally complete for the next meeting. So if colleagues haven't brought them in, please would you do so. Does anyone looking at the agenda have any conflicts of interest other than the obvious if you're part of a different part of the setup? I don't think so. So thank you very much for that. We have, well, it says questions from the public. It's a comment rather, and this is from Peter Blackman, who is chair of the South Woodham Ferrers Health and Social Care Group, and asked that we, well, he's asked it as a question, but it says, on behalf of the people of South Woodham Ferrers, may I please welcome the formation of the Essex Joint Committee and wish you very well for your work in the coming months to prepare for the launch of the Essex ICB. The formation arrangements you are considering today seem comprehensive and to the point. Thank you for meeting in public so that we can follow your workings. At this very difficult time for staff in Mid and South Essex, North East Essex and West Essex, would you please pass on our sincere thanks for all the work done and efforts made by all staff who have worked in those areas, including during COVID and its aftermath. You are much appreciated. To all those who will not be with us in the Essex ICB, we give our thanks and all best wishes for your futures. We ask that those who are responsible for decisions are mindful of the need to support those leaving. And to those who will be working to forge the Essex ICB in the coming months and who will be the staff launching the Essex ICB, we offer our thanks for your dedication and our best wishes for your endeavours. We will do our best to continue as your critical friends. And on that issue, thank you, Peter, for your comments and well wishes. And on being a critical friend, we're familiar with that and we value it. Thank you, of course. And I would just echo those comments from the chair. These are very, very busy times indeed for the executive functions in all three of the integrated care boards which have come round this table for this joint committee. And it's almost a miracle, actually, that the day-to-day delivery of health and care continues while all this level of change and at this pace of change is being delivered. So we all owe those colleagues a huge debt of gratitude. And Tom, as Chief Executive, will you make sure that our thanks are passed on to colleagues? Thank you very much. So we'll now go on to the next item of the agenda, which is the approval of the Essex Joint Committee terms of reference and the work plan. Now, in terms of the terms of reference, we've seen those documents a number of times because they had to be, so to speak, approved by us working as a working group, and then they had to go back to the boards for amendments and so on, and then we have the final version there. I think they've therefore been seen rather a number of times. Has anyone still got anything they wish to raise? It will be most welcome if you have, but I'm not really expecting that there will be. Good. So it says here we're to approve them. We have indeed approved them. Yes? Thank you very much indeed. And now in terms of the work plan, there is a lot there against a demanding schedule. And so I do wonder if we might say, is this actually capable of getting done to this degree? I'm conscious, by the way, that at the moment, more national policy is coming out in a drip feed. I understand the reason for that, which is people are trying to reorganize the way that the NHS conducts its affairs. And so there's bound to be material coming out. but all our colleagues have got to have time to read that, digest it, prepare effective materials and responses to it. And at the same time, as we speak, we've just begun a consultation about reducing the size of each and every one of the integrated care boards around this table. And so, Tom, could we look to you, please, perhaps to talk to colleagues and just respond to the question? This, to us, I believe, seems a lot, and people are nodding around the table. Could you please sort of see what is possible? And maybe it's some of the ones will be, we can't give you a detailed thing, but we could give you a framework about what this might involve. Maybe others simply have to be better developed or whatever. But could you please reflect on that? And do you think this is a reasonable thing to be saying to the executive team?
Yes, of course, Mike. So I think we'll bring it back to the executive team, given some of the recent developments that there's been as well, and the workload that's going to be on the team over the course of the next few months. And so we will come back with an updated set of proposals for the work plan.
Thank you. We're not, as it were, trying to let anybody off in so doing, but we need a quality output, and we need people, therefore, to have time to think about what needs to be done. So thank you very much for that. So I'm now moving on to the next item, which is the approval of terms of reference for the Essex Joint Committee Subcommittee, the Joint Finance and Performance Subcommittee, Essex Joint Quality Subcommittee. Michael Watson can't be with us because he's at an NHS England event. Tom, do you want to say anything about these three terms of reference?
Yeah, if I can. So clearly in the setup of the transitional governance for the proposed Essex ICB, we've clearly set up this joint committee, and then as part of the work that was agreed by each of the three boards was for us to then equally work on developing the proposed terms of reference for the subcommittees that will report into this group. So as set out within the paper, the proposal is that we effectively have three subgroups which will meet in a joint fashion. So the first of those is the executive team. And so the executive subcommittee. Second of those is the Essex Joint Finance and Performance Subcommittee, and then finally the Essex Joint Quality Committee. The paper sets out the proposed scope for each of those groups and the decision making and the scrutiny powers of each of those, alongside obviously the if you can dive into more detail in terms of the exact details of the membership, etc. We're trying to kind of keep